Hey everyone, welcome back to Rocky Watches Movies. Today we're hitting the highways with some classic TV nostalgia as we take a look at CHiPs, the 1977 police drama. With its motorcycle chases, buddy cop chemistry and sun-soaked California backdrop, CHiPs became a fan favourite and a staple of late 70s television. But how much do you really know about the show? From behind-the-scenes drama to surprising facts about its stars, we're pulling back the curtain on the series that made Ponch and Jon household names. So hop on your bike and let's ride through 20 things you never knew about CHiPs. The role of Frank Poncherello was originally named Poncherelli, as producers had envisioned an Italian character. However, they reconsidered after Eric Estrada auditioned. Frustrated after flubbing a line, he punched a door during the meeting, leaving a lasting impression. On screen, co-stars Eric Estrada and Larry Wilcox had each other's backs. Off camera, a different story. When Wilcox married in 1980, he said that he deliberately chose not to invite Estrada, admitting the two had been at odds since the show began. Wilcox considered it asinine to cast someone solely for being photogenic, referring to Estrada's selection. He stated that they were completely different people and struggled to establish a good working relationship. Describing their tension as an ego problem, Wilcox made it clear that Estrada was not his best chum and never will be. Estrada insisted on performing many of his own motorcycle stunts. While performing a 1979 episode, he was seriously injured after losing control of his bike during a scene. The accident happened filming a routine slow-speed scene when a camera vehicle stopped short. The accident left him with broken ribs, a fractured sternum, collarbone and wrist. When he returned to work, MGM rewarded him with a $100,000 Rolls-Royce. Not to be totally outdone, Wilcox flipped his motorcycle the following year, suffering a concussion. The show's rating during its first season were dreadful. However, the show's fortunes turned around in Season 2 when NBC moved it from Thursdays to Saturdays and it began winning its time slot. Before the show, Estrada had no experience riding a motorcycle, which really highlights his stunt work and bravery. To prepare for the role, he enrolled in an intensive 8-week motorcycle course. Despite his efforts, it took him 3 attempts to pass his test and get his license. He persevered with the training and the rest is history. After 5 seasons, the show was sold into syndication in the autumn of 1982. To prevent viewer confusion between reruns and new episodes, MGM retitled the series CHiPs Patrol. This proved somewhat redundant as CHP already stands for California Highway Patrol, effectively making the full title California Highway Patrol Patrol. The name was changed back to just CHiPs after the show went out of production. The producers were committed to offering a realistic portrayal of life maintaining law and order on the highways of Southern California. They purchased real squad cars and motorcycles used by the CHP. But you might notice that the models shown on screen are a few years out of date, as these were the latest models they could acquire at the time. Estrada left the series at the start of the 5th season due to a salary dispute, and the producers brought in Olympian Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner, as his replacement. Already working as a commentator for NBC Sports, Jenner was already an experienced motorcyclist, making the role a natural fit. However, after Estrada reached an agreement with MGM and returned to the show, Jenner's character gradually faded from the series, appearing in just 7 episodes in total. Wilcox chose to leave the show just as it entered the 6th and final season. His character was replaced by Bobby Hot Dog Nelson, played by Tom Riley, who had previously appeared in the episode 4-7 as a different character. But the change led to a decline in ratings, and Riley made headlines in December 1982 when it was reported that he had been arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence of drugs. He pleaded innocent to the charges, but his role was reduced, and his younger brother, Officer Bruce Nelson, became Ponch's partner. Nelson was played by Speedway racer Bruce Pennell, with footage from the 1982 Individual Speedway World Championship that Pennell won included in his first episode. If you're enjoying the video, a subscribe to the channel would be as awesome as Ponch and Jon patrolling the highways. In 2010, the media had a field day with the irony of Wilcox finding himself on the other side of the law. The actor was arrested and charged with securities fraud. Wilcox had unknowingly solicited kickbacks to fund his mining business from an undercover FBI agent. To help avoid more severe consequences, Wilcox agreed to wear a wire for authorities to capture 2 others involved in the scheme. In 2011, he was sentenced to 3 years of probation. On the other side of the coin, Estrada had been quoted as saying his original ambition was to become a police officer before he pursued acting. He eventually got his chance in 2006 when he became a reserve officer for Muncie, Indiana's police force. He then served with the Southern Virginia Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force for 8 years. And then finally, he was a reserve police officer in St. Anthony, Idaho. For a cop show, CHiPs took a surprisingly conservative approach to firearms. According to some fan tallies, police drew their guns in just 3 out of 139 episodes, and never once by Estrada or Wilcox. Estrada said that the show's 8 p.m. family-friendly time slot played a major role in this pacifistic approach. Estrada's dazzling white smile and striking good looks quickly made him a pop culture icon. His appearance apparently influenced Victor Willis of the Village People, who took inspiration from Estrada's extra-tight patrol uniform when crafting his own look as the group's cop. Randy Oakes played a secretary in an episode from Season 1 and a car thief in a Season 2 episode. She did such an impressive job that the producers invited her back to play Officer Bonnie Clark as a series regular, which she did throughout Seasons 3, 4 and 5. Mego Toy Company was quick to capitalize on the popularity of the series, releasing 8-inch action figures and vehicles. Their CHiPs products were said to have reused many molds from other lines, such as Fonzie's motorcycle and Klingon boots from Star Trek. But the real disappointment came when Ponch and Jon figures lingered on store shelves for too long. Due to Mego's inconsistent quality control, the plastic used for the bodies reacted poorly with the plastic in the packaging, causing their heads to shift from flesh-coloured to a sickly grey. Collectors dubbed this condition zombie disease. Japan was so in love with CHiPs that musicians turned the show's theme song into a disco hit. John Parker composed the original theme, but it was Japanese jazz fusion artist Yuji Ono who elevated it to a whole new wave level. These days, the album is quite rare. There was a reboot movie, CHiPs 99, which picked up the adventures of our asphalt-hugging heroes more than 15 years after the series ended. Wilcox returned to join Estrada in tackling a car hijacking ring with a subplot involving a dog stubbornly crapping in Jon's yard. The movie aired in 1998, and by all accounts the co-stars got along this time. On the show, Gwyn Guilford played Betty, the wife of Sergeant Getria, who was played by Robert Pine. This role was particularly fitting as she is actually Robert Pine's real-life wife. Ponch and Jon reprised their roles as 2 of Southern California's finest officers in National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon. Also, over the years, despite their differences, the duo has reunited on several occasions to meet with fans at special conventions and events. Warner Brothers was banking on nostalgia for the series when the studio enlisted Dax Shepard to write, direct, and co-star an adaptation. Previously, Wilmer Valderrama had reportedly earned an informal commitment to play Ponch. However, Michael Pena ultimately landed the role. The film flopped at the box office and doesn't have very good reviews. And there you have it, folks. You now know a little bit more about CHiPs. If you enjoyed the video, which I presume you did as you got this far, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos coming to Rocky Watches Movies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.